Great Debaters Contest is brought to you by Safaricom M-Pesa.
Good day, everyone. We are in Nairobi region for the Great Debaters Contest. I am Austin Nyambok.
And I am Mariam Bishar. Austin, they say ladies are the better orators. Well, today we put that theory to test. We have Starehe girls going versus the Kenya High School, and they're debating on whether devolution is a hindrance to national integration. Proposal number 3, you have 3 minutes.
8 August 2010. Kenya adopted a new constitution under the devolved system of government. Mary Effie Olwach, Starehe Girls Center, here to strongly propose the motion that states devolution is a hindrance to national integration. What is devolution? Devolution is the statutory granting of powers from a government of a sovereign state to a government at a lower level. In the case of Kenya, it is the statutory granting of powers by the centralized government to the 47 counties. What is a hindrance? A hindrance is something that stands between you and the goal you wish to achieve. It may lead to the delay of the process of achieving progress. What is national integration? National integration is the process of developing a feeling of unity, oneness, and solidarity among a people. Now, how is devolution being a hindrance to national integration? A report by David Muguin, after a research carried out by Strathmore University on some of the impacts of devolution on education, gave the results that follows. Parents would prefer to have their children schooling over a shorter distance. What am I talking about? In Kenya, one of the tools used by government to develop integration and unity amongst the citizens was the establishment of national schools. Now, if you tell me you want to have national schools in every county, then this means in a national school in your county, with your parent preferring that you should go to a school that is closer home, then you don't get the chance to go to a school far away that will ensure you interact with students from different ethnical backgrounds. This will lower the level of interaction and integration. Take an example. Olwach, Nasiji, Vugutsa, Starehe Girls Center, national integration in a national school. Once upon a time, when Reverend John Njue was asked his opinion on devolution, he stated, devolving the country into 47 counties will result into a country that is torn apart and divided along tribal lines. If this is what we want to do to our country after all the efforts we have put into ensuring we are a unified country, let us think twice, people. Thank you.
Opposition, you have 3 minutes for your opening remarks.
Ladies and gentlemen, devolution in relation to national integration. It is practically a car and its numerous parts. An engine has nothing to do with a wheel, but together they unite and move in one common direction. That is what devolution is doing. Devolution is practically just the central government taking some of its duties, some of its responsibilities, and some of its funds, and giving it to the local government and telling them, do the best you can with the area over which we're giving you the mandate to reign. National integration, on the other hand, is just me accepting you for who you are, and you accepting me for the person I am, and neither of us expecting the other to actually change or change our attitudes or our beliefs or our religions to suit the other. Before I move on, Starehe girls, are you aware that education is not devolved? Devolution actually It is sealing the cracks that has been created by tribalism and negative ethnicity that has been clearly promoted by the central government before devolution. Once upon a time, we were in dark ages, bloody times that caused us to fight and battle just to ensure that our central government was occupied by people from our ethnic community. Why? It's not because we are selfish. Actually, for a matter of fact, I'm not selfish at a personal level, but it was the only assurance that I had of getting development, of getting that school, of getting that hospital, of getting that clinic, just because development was linked directly to the favor that our community had from the central government. This is evident in our history, from the economical blackouts that people have suffered just because the central government did not belong to them at that time. The devolved government, however, states that my assurance of development is not coming from the favor of the central government. It is coming from the 45% of the national funds automatically coming down to the 47 different counties in this country. So whether or not the central government is made up of my ethnic community or not, I'm still getting developed. That gives me the chance to look past that surname that I was so keen in looking to, and I can actually look at our leaders and listen to their points, look at their qualities, look at what they have to offer me as a Kenyan citizen, and vote past ethnicity, vote past tribalism, vote past racism, vote past all that. Ladies and gentlemen, if that is not national integration, I don't know what is.
We'll now hear rebuttals. Proposers, you have 3 minutes.
Varina Siji, Starehe Girls Center. As for my worthy opponents, I'd like to tell you, it's great to have great minds in one room and share with them your opinions. Change of attitude is necessary to national devolution. And as for your not being selfishness, it's yet to be established, because as to what you've told us, I don't think you really are not selfish. A car might have nothing to do with the engine, but the engine is needed for the car to work. Onto my first point, greed is the spark for devolution in Kenya. Devolution is more on an ethnic base. For example, Nigeria began as a 3 multi-ethnic state, but it's now a 36 mono-ethnic state. And they are now working to get an ethnic state other than creating a national goal instead of creating the ethnic state that they wanted. And so the competition that they have against each other is leading to the breakup of the national integration that they once enjoyed as a multi-ethnic state. On to my second point, devolution preaches integration but practices segregation. A research by the National Cohesion and Integration Commission states that some of Kenya's counties are bold enough to retain the tribal names. For example, Meru, Embu, Marakwet, Samburu, West Pokot, Turkana, Nandi, Taita Taveta, Kisii, and Tharaka Nithi. And to make matters worse, the dominant communities in most of the communities are taking more than 70% of the public seats. And the leading groups are the Nyamira, which has 97.9% public seats taken by Kisiis. In Kirinyaga, there is 98.7% Kikuyus taking the public seats. This has led to the marginalization of the non-dominant groups, leading to loss of national integration. On to my third point. Devolution has led to leadership wrangles. If the devolution implementers are fighting themselves, what are the citizens supposed to do? We are looking upon them to show us what devolution states. Yet the best they can do to us is to make us look like we don't know more about devolution. When the senators and the governors are fighting each other, the MPs and the senators are fighting over the 2013 deals which were allocated to countries. The MPs were proposed for 210 billion shillings, while the senators proposed for 258 billion shillings, leading to supremacy battle. And once the rulers start fighting, the other citizens are going to follow because we have to take sides. And as I must say, devolution is not helping Kenya in any stage. Instead, it is leading to the break of Kenyan integration, whereby leaders don't meet what they are supposed to do. Leaders don't show us the way. We are going nowhere with Kenyan devolution.
Opposition, you also have 3 minutes for your cross-examination.
Ladies and gentlemen, I just woke up from a deep slumber. You see, I, Stephanie Washira, from the Kenya High School, have a tendency to sleep, and really sleep, when I hear lies floating all around me. And when I wake up, I tell the blatant truth. And what is the truth? That devolution is not a hindrance to national integration. You talked about 97.5%. I think you forgot to mention 97.5% qualified people. You see, it doesn't matter which county it is. It doesn't matter how many people are from the same ethnic community. If they are qualified, the Constitution doesn't lock them out. The National Cohesion and Integration Commission Act that says that not more than 30% of the posts should go to one ethnic community doesn't lock them out. Why? Because they are qualified. And that is what we are looking for. Qualified, competent people. The other day, ladies and gentlemen, I received a rather peculiar letter, as you can see. And probably I would open and share the contents of what is inside. It came from one, Mr. Mutisia, who felt like he should vocalize what he thought about devolution in relation to national integration. Now, in the year 2012, our then government, in conjunction with the parliament, decided to settle on a theme for the year. And what was the theme? Promoting education and culture through social integration. I mean, that is a nice thing. They formed review commissions, and for the first time, Lamu County was able to have a cultural day, which really boosted them. But then you see, of what relevance was it to Mr. Mutisia, who had just been diagnosed with skin cancer? He couldn't get the relevant facilities in Machakos. Then devolution happened. Devolution helped Mr. Mutisia in the sense that under the national government, under the unitary government, we were all put under a nice umbrella, and we are told, you see, this year we are dealing with devolution. So for you, Mr. Mutisia, who has a health problem, I'm sorry, that doesn't fall under education. So wait till the day we will put all of you under a nice umbrella of health, then we can deal with you. Postpone your problems, hold them till the day we will put you all under the umbrella of health. Was that helping Mr. Mutisia? Of course not. So now with devolution, Machakos County was formed. Machakos County was given the funds to develop Machakos Level 5 Hospital. Now it has all the relevant facilities to deal with Mr. Mutisia's case. But wait, how is that involved in national integration? Mr. Mutisia felt so bad, and I quote, I felt resentment towards all the people who are considered when they talked about education being the theme for the year. I didn't have a problem with education in my county, but I had to sideline all my problems and put them aside so that I can deal with their problems. Now he doesn't have to sideline them. They can deal with their problems. Say, for example, if it was Nakuru County, and he can be able to deal with his problem because Machakos Level 5 Hospital has cancer treatment facilities. Thank you.
So M-Pesa helps me transfer money and also M-Shwaring and saving. Mobile banking is very smart. So kudos Safcom.
Take part in the M Challenge by sending your short song, rap or poem about Safaricom M-Pesa on WhatsApp, and you could win 1,000 shillings in Safaricom airtime.
The proposers have been asked, how does devolution cause tribal segregation? And the opposition have been asked to expound on how the Constitution ties into the motion. The Proposer number 3, you have 3 minutes.
I'm Faith Vugutsa from Starehe Girls, here to answer the questions posted by the audience. Mercy from State House Girls, you do not understand how the counties in Kenya are tribal-based. Take an example of Nandi County. The county is bearing the name Nandi because it has dominant Nandis in the county. Take an example of Kisii County, dominant Kisis in the county, 90%. You can't call it Luya County because it has the most number of Kisis in the county. Again, the 47 counties were divided geographical across tribal lines. That is the main problem. Counties, tribalism, we are fed up with devolution in Kenya. And take note, we are not against devolution. We are against the approach that Kenya has taken towards devolution in this country. Ladies and gentlemen, devolution is not going to take us places. There is lack of political will and cooperation among the implementing parties. If the leaders themselves, the lawmakers are the lawbreakers, the leaders are having wrangles, fighting against each other. Example, even the leaders have not yet embraced devolution into their hearts. Take an example of Joy Mutambu, the Mwingi Central engineer, Mwingi Central County Governor, who was threatening to have the number of counties reduced to 9 counties out of 48 counties, yet you call them your leaders. They are not able, they are not ready, they have not yet embraced devolution in itself. They are still having problems with devolution. Then do you expect them to work with the devolved governments? And remember, when leaders at the top are having conflicts against each other, that means the citizens also take sides because we prefer different leaders. I am from Mwangi, she's for Wanjiku. So if I am from Mwangi, I go with what Mwangi says. Those of Wanjiku go with what Wanjiku says. Devolution is bringing separation. There is no good rapport, there is no transparency and interaction between the county leaders and the citizens, which should bring national integration. Research done by the Transparency International Kenya proved that the interaction between governors, senators, and the citizens is 0%. The MCAs, 21%. MPs, 13%. And 79% of those who interact with MPs only interact, that is 79%, only interact during public gatherings, especially funerals. Are we going to discuss about cooperation in funerals? Come on. My audience, we're not going anywhere with devolution. Let's take the right way towards devolution. The approach that Kenya has taken towards devolution is leading us to hell, and real hell.
Opposition, you have 3 minutes to respond to the audience.
I received a question about devolution and the Constitution. My friend, devolution outlines functions of the people who are there. It outlines who is and who does. So definitely, I don't see why we should put Constitution as a definition of devolution, because we know the driving force of devolution in itself was tailored by the changing of the Constitution in 2010, and that's how we received devolution. And I wanted to tell my friend who said that we have 90% people who are from a certain ethnic community. I want to tell you, if we are qualified, I don't see the reason why we should not accept. You see, 30% means that there are several communities who are qualified, but apparently we only take one community. But if that 90% was qualified, I don't see why we shouldn't take them. And I wanted to tell them about public participation. The devolution has actually opened up ways for me to walk into my county assembly and speak. And that is 1% from me. Really, did you do your research well? So today, I have come to talk about a problem that I used to have when I was 7, in class 3. What problem? Tissue. When I was in class 3, I never seemed to remember to carry tissue to school, as in, really. And it appeared all of my classmates couldn't remember. So our class teacher decided, you know what? These children are stressing me. I shall come with tissue and shall give a competent individual in class to help my students have tissue. So who did she give the tissue? Oh my goodness, she gave Big Wamboi. Now Big Wamboi was, Big Wamboi. And I can tell you, After a while, the only people who used to get tissue were Wamboi's friends, Waithera, Kamau, and Wamboi's desk mates around there. I was such a skimpy little child. What would I do to tell Wamboi, Wamboi, I need to go to the loo, give me tissue? No, but so I really look at it, and in one way or another, it's just like our the unitary government. We created space for local elites. As long as you knew whoever was in power, if you had the number of a cabinet secretary, even the number of the president, your personal development was guaranteed. Also, what did it do? It created local fiefdoms in class. I mean, we were separated on tissue lines. Tissue lines. Really, I did not want to sit on one side of the class because they had tissue over break time, and I did not. Same thing, when under the unitary government, when a leader comes from a certain ethnic area or ethnic community, what happens is that the area was developed, but under the devolutionized government, development is guaranteed, and guaranteed for everyone. Thank you.
We'll now hear closing statements. Proposers, you have 1 minute.
Ladies and gentlemen, there is no way we are going to promote national integration by violating the rules found in our own constitution, which states 30% of the leaders should come from the non-dominant groups and 70% should come from the dominant groups. People, we not only need competent leaders, we need competent leaders from various ethnic communities so that they bring diverse decisions to make one whole nation. Devolution is not the problem. As I told you, the approach towards devolution still remains to be my main problem. Devolution at the moment is a threat to national integration. And to achieve the national integration we need with devolution in place, we need to embrace devolution and follow what devolution is really meant by following what is in the Constitution. First of all, you should put your selfish needs behind and educate the citizens on devolution and let them know more about devolution. Thank you.
Opposition, you also have a minute for your final submission.
30%, is that all you have to say? We already told you they are qualified. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you have an appetite, because I brought cookies. No, seriously, I brought cookies. Now, I want you to look past the pastries and your hunger at this point in time, and I want to show you, this is a unitary government, and this is a devolved government. I've just demarcated a few boundaries, but hey, it's still a cookie. This is Kenya, and this is still Kenya, and I think it pretty much tastes the same. Yeah, still a cookie. So what am I trying to say? Let us not blame devolution for problems, such as saying devolution is the reason why we don't have national unity. I do not think so, because it's a new forest with the same old monkeys that want to divide themselves according to who has the longest tail, the longest teeth, the most fur. Racial, ethnic, tribal lines, the same thing. I think we should tell our monkeys, hey, devolution is a good thing. Stop trying to divide yourselves. And really, I want to prove to you the cookie is the same. Have a bite.
Starehe girls put up a spirited fight, and I must commend you for that. I think I just had a few concerns. When you quote certain people or you quote reports that are given by these people, tell us who they are so that we ascertain whether they are credible sources of information or not. And I think this is in reference to the first speaker. You made a reference to a report by David Mugundi, but you didn't tell us who this person is. So you need to qualify them by telling us exactly who they are. But overall, I think that was a good beginning. I think for Varin, I struggled to understand the relevance of the car engine analogy in your presentation. And maybe again, maybe it's me, but maybe other people got it, but I struggled with that. But I love the fact that you make reference to data and to statistics, and that usually helps in validating your submissions. Faith, I had a challenge with your response to the questions. I mean, I actually found your response a little simplistic. And then I was hoping that you spent a lot more time just trying to understand the question and responding appropriately. But when you make reference to the research by Transparency International, that's very useful. It's showing us, why you think devolution is a hindrance to national integration. And that, for me, was really, really good. Of course, coupled with the fact that you have presence and you're a very good, public speaker. And so, good job by Starehe girls.
To Kenya High, I think what you've taught me today is that an idea is abstract. And the only way you can make an idea concrete is by using analogies. And I think perfect analogies that were used by your team, it was just wow. Beginning with Chandra to Ashira and then Lukenya. Chandra, again, very good start for your team. An impressive debater, debate with attitude, that's a good style. Washira, you just remind me of Okot Pabitek, a writer who said that an artist is a ruler and a debater is an artist, actually. That means that we are rulers. Even Chinua Achebe, who made mention of an artist being a teacher. And I think you can easily explain a complicated concept to even a 10-year-old, and the person will understand. I love the example of Mutisia and the letter that you used, and also Machakos Level 5 Hospital. I think you're just an awesome debater, and that is a plus for your team. The same applies to Lukenya. I mean, the tissue analogy and also the cookies. That was just beautiful. You are a powerhouse, and I think that in case you move to the next level, then there is a lot in store for us as judges to learn, and also for the audience to learn. Commendable job.
Starehe Girls Center, the judges awarded you 67%. Please give them a round of applause. Kenya High School have a whopping 78%. Please give them a round of applause.
And that's the way the cookie crumbles here on the Great Debaters Contest. We'd like to thank all of you for watching and for tuning in and making time for us. And of course, we'd like to thank Safaricom M-Pesa and KBC Channel 1. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at Great Debaters EA and to find us on all our other social media platforms. I have been your host, Mariam Bishar.
And I am Austin Nyambok. Catch you next time.
The Great Debaters Contest was brought to you by Safaricom M-Pesa.